Let me start by expressing my gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the opportunity to gather here today to discuss insecurity, economic stagnation, and disunity, which are some of the most critical problems Nigeria is facing in its quest for development. Let me commend the leadership of the Conference of State Legislatures of Nigeria with a landmark decision to grant Katsina State the coastal right of its third quarter general meeting. This, I believe, will create the opportunity to see for themselves the progress we recorded so far as a government, and also it will provide an opportunity to make friends or relationships which will unite participants from different parts of the country. It is also an opportunity for us to showcase our rich cultural heritage and hospitality. As you are all aware, the major difference between military regime and a democratic government is the legislature. In other words, the legislature plays a great role in sustaining our hard-earned democracy and democratic governments. As a member of the legislative arm of the government, I have a fair understanding of the challenges we face in the House and in our respective constituencies. As I am sure the aim of this conference is to provide an opportunity for right honorable speakers and other members of State House of Assembly to share experience and chart a new course for the legislature. The selection of Katsina State for this important conference is timely in view of the current realities. Unlike other states, Katsina State legislative, executive, and judicial arms of the government are working in harmony to ensure sustainable development of the state. The governor of Katsina State, my doors are always open to members of the legislative and judicial arms, either individually or collectively, to discuss issues of interest for the development of our state. In Katsina State, our major problem is the security challenge we are facing in some parts of the state. With the support of the State House of Assembly, some legal frameworks were put in place while the existing ones were restructured in order to address the security challenges. It is a well-known fact that the 1975 local government reforms removed the powers of traditional rulers without offering veritable replacement, which created serious gap in the system. Taking into consideration the security issues in the state, the government decided to revisit the system and bring on board the traditional institution and other relevant stakeholders to participate directly in security decision and management. As a result of the above, the state local government law 2000 was amended to create three-tier security committees, namely local government, district, and village security committees across the 34 local government areas of the state. Their functions are to, among other things, provide security agencies with useful information, to assist in effective policing, ensure arrest of offenders and handing them over to the appropriate authorities, as well as collaboration with the security agencies in the general maintenance of law and order at the local government, district, villages, and ward levels. Indeed, I will not hesitate to commend the State House of Assembly for assiduously passing the local government amendment law within a limited time frame, which became a ladder through which the successes were achieved. In addition, the state government has recently signed the Security Challenges Containment Executive Order, which is another milestone achievement recorded in the security subsector. The measure was a collective resolve of the northwestern states to rid the region of its common security challenges. The order is, among others, aimed at restricting food, mobile network, fuel supply, among others, to suspected armed bandits and kidnappers to curtail their nefarious activities. Similarly, the judiciary was not left behind in the quest to bring lasting peace and security in the state. The judiciary came up with the community conflict resolution centers across the state. The centers are avenues created to ensure peaceful coexistence among the people living in the same community. The centers are designed to handle simple civil and non-criminal cases. This will no doubt reduce congestion in our courts of law. The centers so far established across the state are recording tremendous success. The cordial relationship existing between the executive, legislative, and judicial arms of the government has assisted greatly in the execution and implementation of meaningful projects, programs, and policies for the people of Katsina State. These projects and programs touch the education, health, environment, water resources, infrastructure, commerce, social, and community development subsectors. It is with pride that I wish to state categorically that the present administration has recorded success and progress in all the sectors of the economy. I wish to call on all participants to use the Katsina State experience in order to bring a meaningful progress and developments in your respective states. Issues of conflict with different pressure groups could be resolved through dialogue with the stakeholders and other relevant groups to avoid loss of lives and destruction of properties as being experienced in almost many parts of the states in the country. I wish to call on the federal government to declare emergency on the national security in order to bring an end to loss of lives and properties across the state. The security agencies are putting in their best to address the security issues across the country, but more has to be done to curtail the activities of bandits, cattle rustlers, and armed bandits, separatists, and other criminal elements across the country. Finally, I wish to declare this conference open and pray for fruitful discussions that will lead to the development of Nigeria and the peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. I pray for your safe trip back to our respective destinations as we await anxiously for the outcome of this conference. Long live Katsina State and long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Those problems are the contemporary deadly evil that continuously throw Nigeria back to the dark age and arrest our march to a great destiny. This event is holding in Katsina is a benefit to my state because Katsina State is one of the states that are seriously besieged by insecurity. On behalf of the good people of Katsina State, therefore, I am pleased to welcome all our guests, participants, and invited guests here present at this very important event. May I, in connection with the above, acknowledge the presence in our midst of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, CFR, whose key interest in this event and its outcome is indicated by his crucial role as special guest of honor, who is to deliver the keynote address for the event. I wish to register our collective appreciation, Your Excellency, on behalf of my esteemed colleagues, for your invaluable presence, moral, and material support. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is pertinent to point out that we are very much enjoying the exemplary leadership of His Excellency the Governor. The relationship between the executive and the legislative arm of government is characterized by cooperation, mutual trust, and respect. No wonder, therefore, we have a strong and credible partnership that has brought about a suitable, polite, and excellent service delivery. The existing excellent, harmonious relationship has translated into our constituents enjoying dividend of democracy. The law we pass are ascertained to, and the resolution of the Honorable House for projects in their respective constituency are accepted and implemented by the government. We are indeed highly appreciative for your supportive and friendly disposition to us. The Legislative Institute, which represents the citizens at the grassroots level, is a key part of the machinery democratic government, which must be seen to play crucial roles in the delivery of democratic dividends, of which security, peace, prosperity are vital goals. Though defining credible role for us in the eradication of the aforementioned problem is an imperative for the democratic, national, and grassroots development. Indeed, this event is an opportunity for the renewal and dynamism of the legislative functions. My eyes, therefore, seize this opportunity to call on all the dear colleagues for a diligent and robust participation in the proceeding so as to make the output very valuable and productive. I'm grateful beyond my words for the effort made by my colleagues from all the 36 state legislatures of Nigeria to be present here. Please accept my welcome and invitation to enjoy your stay in Kaduna. We are indeed honored to host you to a memorable event. I noted with great pleasure the presence of some functionaries who are here to add value input to the proceeding of the event with valuable presentations. To everyone, I wish to express our deep appreciation and extend our cordial and hospitable reception. In this end, I pray for everyone.
On behalf of the Conference of State Legislators of Nigeria, and indeed the 991 honorable members of the State Houses of Assembly in Nigeria, I express profound appreciation to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, CFR, for hosting this important meeting. Your Excellency, sir, the Conference of Speakers of State Legislators of Nigeria is an umbrella body for the Right Honorable Speakers of the 36 states Houses of Assembly in Nigeria, set up to, among other things, provide a forum for speakers of the State House of Assembly to discuss and propose solutions to issues and problems affecting the conference and its members in particular, and the nation in general. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, insecurity in our country today has assumed a disturbing dimension and hence constituted a serious threat not only to the economic growth and development, but also to the peace and unity of the nation. This is the time, therefore, that all hands must be on deck to fight the menace of insecurity for the good of our nation. As representatives of the people at the grassroots, we are indeed worried and disturbed by the negative trend of the menace of insecurity in the nation. We have therefore convened this meeting to discuss and propose solutions to these problems within our constitutional mandate, and we hope legislative frameworks at the subnational level adopted will go a long way to complement the efforts of the federal government to check the menace of insecurity in the country. Your Excellency, we acknowledge your great efforts and deep commitment in this regard. We salute your courage and doggedness towards ridding Katsina State of every form of criminality. Your Excellency, we believe the successes recorded in the fight against insecurity by the government of Katsina State under your able leadership would not have been achieved without the support and cooperation of the Katsina State House of Assembly under the leadership of Right Honorable Tasiu Musa Megal. We therefore commend the Right Honorable Speaker and indeed his colleagues in the Parliament for their support and cooperation in the fight against insecurity. I also urge you to continue to cooperate with your governor for the betterment of the people of Katsina State. Your Excellency, we believe strongly that the efficient and effectiveness which the legislative arm can carry out its constitutional mandate depends largely on how financial autonomous the arm is. In other words, as provided by the fourth alteration to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, financial autonomy for both the state legislature and judiciary is very germane for good governance in our country. We acknowledge and commend the efforts and passion of the Nigerian Governors Forum in this regard, and in general, the individual governors that have assented to fund management bills in their respective states in particular. At this juncture, we would like to call on other state governors to give assent to this noble bill for effective and efficient implementation of financial autonomy across the nation.